Classic Zoom.
Sorry, Isaac. When Tyrod Taylor talked, he said at times of that meeting it was uncomfortable. Coach Lynn said you guys got more accomplished today than you would have on the field. How would you describe what that meeting was and what was accomplished or what needed to be said?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyrod's exactly right. I think, with everything going on, had we gone out on the field, no doubt we would have accomplished less. We certainly would have got better as a football team, but just from the social standpoint, I think we would have accomplished a lot less. The thing that I took from it is just, I was telling Coach Lynn this just a second ago, the way that he empowers us as players to be able to feel like we can really have a voice and say what we want. I mean, we had members of our ownership come down and talk to us. I just talked to Dean. The support that we have from them, I think, means a lot. And I think that's the big takeaway that I got. I think another takeaway that I got was just, the shared experience that a lot of players have, right? This issue of frustration, built up frustration of years and years of, police brutality and systemic racism and a lot of different things, a lot of shared frustration. You hear from a guy like George Stewart, who's 62 years old, who talks about growing up in Arkansas, dealing with racism. And here we are, again, he's 62, and you're seeing a lot of the same things, a lot of pinned up frustration. And so I think, again, those are the kind of the two takeaways. One, the confidence that I now have moving forward, as far as the support that I have from the organization. And then the second thing is the collective and shared experience of frustration from a lot of black players on the team.
All right, Cam Buford.
Hey, Mr. Rochell, I got a couple questions for you. Do you think this team meeting that you guys had today brought you guys closer together as a unit? And would you expect that to serve you guys well moving forward in the season, throughout the season?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I think I don't think much of us have thought about will it help us on the football field. I mean, I certainly think it will. And I do think we've gotten closer. I think we've had more open conversations. But, as far as it converting, I think guys are more focused on the fact that somebody was shot 7 times in the back by a police officer. So, like I said, it's a good question. I don't know how relevant it is right now because we're so focused on what's going on. What I will say is I am really thankful for the conversations that we're having. I'm thankful for the fact that, Dean Spanos can come down and we can have a conversation with him. I think, we're closer with our ownership. I've had so many conversations that I wouldn't have otherwise had with teammates. Like Michael Badgley, we were up there on NFL Network talking. Him and I have had so many conversations about racial issues that I think will be beneficial for a lot of different reasons. But again, I think the focus at hand is kind of what's going on and not necessarily, are these conversations going to help us for the season?
Would you expound on localhuman.com for us?
Yeah, so Local Human is an organization that started originally to give back to the elderly population during COVID. They were the most affected. So we immediately created a company that was going to support the elderly population through apparel sales. What that has kind of turned into is a foundation, the Do Good Foundation, and then Local Human, the actual company. Right now our goal is to create opportunity for the youth and empower the youth, specifically the minority youth in the LA area. We're doing that in a lot of different ways. In 5 months, we've donated $20,000 to different organizations. We've donated 2,000 plus shirts to a foster center that's supporting the minority youth in the Orange County area. So we're doing a lot of different things, but again, our goal now moving forward is how can we create as many opportunities for our youth in LA so they're not having to deal with police officers. There's kind of two sides of it. One is dealing with the systemic racism that comes from police officers and everything going on with that. But then there's also the side of let's create a lot more opportunity for the youth so they're not even having to deal with these police officers.
Thank you, sir.
All right, over to Kay.
Hey Isaac, you've been having these tough conversations for a long time, and now that they're more normalized, when people come up to you and ask you, what can I do, how can we create change, what's your answer?
So it's a few different things. The first thing that I think that people can do to immediately get involved is start having conversations. I do get frustrated a little bit with the idea of people saying that they need to learn more or they just don't know enough. But I do think having conversations and understanding, somebody else's experience is really important. And then the second thing is, I think in a lot of different ways, there's opportunity for people to get involved if they just look. I think a lot of times people use the crutch of I don't know what to do and kind of like the analysis paralysis excuse. When if they really just, looked up and found different opportunities, they'd see that there's a lot of different ways to get involved. Local Human is a great example of a company that's created easy opportunity. You buy a T-shirt, and then for one of our T-shirts, we were donating $15 to different black organizations. That's an easy way to get involved. For someone to say that they don't know what to do to get involved in today's world tells me that they're not looking.
All right, let's go to Shawn.
Yeah, Isaac, Coach talked about how guys need to get some things off their chest. Is this kind of something that's just kind of been festering, throughout these last few months or years or so, or these just kind of a mixture of new emotions that have just kind of springed up with the Jacob play?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I think I kind of touched on it earlier. There's a lot of built-up frustration. I mean, we're looking at George Floyd a few months ago, everything that happened with the protest and whatnot, and we've seen multiple instances of individuals being killed by police officers in the same way. So I think it's a built-up frustration, and I think we're at the point now where in a lot of different ways we just can't move on without addressing it. I'm thankful, again, to be in the organization that I'm in and have the teammates that I have to feel like I can get with them and we can get together to try to make some changes and have these conversations. But I think to answer your question, I think it's pinned up frustration. It's months and months and years of situations that shouldn't have happened. And now we're kind of at that point where it's like we need to discuss this and we can't move forward until we do. Those things, it was kind of like the perfect situation. We're here in our new stadium. We're all together. We're not on Zoom. And it was just the perfect time for us to discuss this. But like I said, it was really moving to be able to actually see and feel the emotion of different guys and coaches.
And if the feelings become more raw and compounded this week because of what happened in Wisconsin on Sunday, and there's a convention going on where the politicians talk about law and order, and that has various messages to different people.
Yeah, so you're asking, Joe, is it more relevant because of that?
Maybe the feelings compounding more and more because the incident happened Sunday, and now you got a convention where law and order is the theme, but
Yeah.
you have this still going on.
So I think to say that has to do with it, it kind of takes away from the incident in and of itself. I mean, you have a man, again, who got shot 7 times in the back by a police officer. That in and of itself is enough to warrant the response that it's gotten. The convention and everything else going on, it's less relevant to me. What's more relevant is the fact that we need to deal with that particular issue. And I think, again, it can kind of give people an excuse or at least a crutch to say, well, this is only happening because, the convention was also happening, and that kind of added to it. Again, I think it's this isolated situation in this case where a man was shot 7 times in the back, and that in and of itself is enough.
Isaac, you guys were supposed to make this about football, yesterday and leading up to all the excitement coming into this place. Instead, you were able to make this such an impactful moment for the organization and use SoFi Stadium as a stage to get out messages for some of the players and coaches. How impactful do you think today has been in getting messages out via
Yeah, I mean, it's an unreal platform to do it. I mean, it was a great time to do it. And again, it's like it's a testament to our organization. I mean, you look at Coach Lynn, you look at our ownership, the willingness that they have to say, you know what, this scrimmage is less important right now than dealing with the issues at hand. You know, I'm just thankful for them. I think it's a testament to them. We've got people all over our organization that are absolutely sold out to everything that's going on right now. So I think that's kind of the bigger narrative, that just to be thankful for the organization and pushing this forward too. And you brought it up. It also happens to be here at SoFi Stadium. This is the first time I've even been to this stadium. And for the rest of my life, I'll think back to the first time that I came here. We were discussing social injustices in our country. So it no doubt is a great time. And again, the fact that we have the organization behind us is huge.
All right, Isaac, thank you for the time.
Appreciate you guys.